Welcome to another live stream. It is game 3 of the ALCS, the Blue Jays and the Mariners. We'll preview this momentarily, but first I want to start off with a prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day and thank you for everything you do for us, Lord. And please protect everyone involved in this game tonight, players, fans alike, Lord. And just put your protection on us as well, Lord. And please look over us and do this in your will, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, game 3, Blue Jays and Mariners. Mariners have won the first 2 in Toronto as they look to take a commanding series lead. They will send George Kirby to the mound. Blue Jays will counter with Shane Bieber tonight. A 60-degree evening in Seattle under surprisingly sunny skies, which is unusual for Seattle. Roof is open at T-Mobile Park, and here is the lineup the Blue Jays will send out. George Springer will DH and lead off. Lucas in left field will bat second. Vladimir Guerrero at first base bats third. Anthony Santander in right field, the cleanup hitter tonight. Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, will bat fifth. Dalton Varsho in center field bats sixth. Barger at third base will bat seventh. Clement at second base in the number 8 spot, and Jimenez, the shortstop, batting ninth. And rounding out the batting order for the Blue Jays, Springer, Lucas, Guerrero, Santander, Kirk, Varsho, Barger, Clement, Jimenez, the batting order for the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. And George Kirby getting the start on the mound for the Mariners, getting his third postseason start. He started 2 games in the division series against the Tigers. No decision in both of those. He's pitched 10 innings, 14 strikeouts to just 1 walk in his 2 outings. So the Blue Jays look to find some offense, something they did not have a whole lot of in the first 2 games of this series up north in Toronto. And now the change over to Seattle as the Blue Jays look to get back in the series, and Mariners, meanwhile, look to get 1 win away from their first ever trip to the World Series. As the Mariners take the field in front of a sold-out T-Mobile Park. Packed crowd on hand despite being a local start of just after 5 p.m. out in the Pacific Northwest. As we are just about set to go in game 3. Mariners won game 1 on Sunday 3-1. Mariners winning 10-3 in game 2. And look who's throwing out the ceremonial first pitch in Seattle tonight. Randy Johnson, the Hall of Fame pitcher, and a lot of his career with the Mariners. Great moment there. And we're set to go in game 3. It'll be Springer leading off. Springer steps in the batter's box. Kirby set to go. First pitch, game 3. Strike 1. Springer hitting 200 in the postseason. He does have 2 home runs. 0-1 pitch, that is bounced to third. And on 2 pitches, there is 1 out to begin the night. And the batter will be Lucas. Lucas hitting .412 in the postseason. And the strike to Nathan Lucas. Home plate umpire tonight is Ben May. Marvin Hudson over at first. DJ Rayburn at second. Quinn Wolcott at third. Ryan Additon down the left field line and Doug Eddings down the right field line. 0-1 is foul, and it is quickly 0-2 on Lucas. Kirby's 0-2 pitch to Lucas inside, ball 1. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Lucas strikes out. There's out number 2, and it'll bring up Guerrero. Guerrero in the postseason hitting .375. He's got 3 home runs. He has drove in 9. Comes up with the bases empty and 2 outs. Kirby's pitch to Guerrero down low, ball 1. One-0 pitch hit foul. That will even the count 1-1 on Vladimir Guerrero. Roof open in Seattle tonight. 1-1 to Guerrero is hit to third. Nice pickup. Long throw to first. Gets away. Goes out of play, and Guerrero will go to second base. Suarez had to leap for that at third base to keep that from going into left field. And he did. And turned and threw quickly. I think he had a little bit more time than what he thought and didn't get a good throw on it. And Guerrero will take second base on the throwaway on an E5. And it will bring up Anthony Santander. 3 for 13 in the postseason, .231 average. Okay, so actually, I take that back. It is a hit and an error on the scoring on that. So Guerrero at second with 2 outs. And the strike 1 pitch to Santander is upstairs, ball 1. That'll even the count 1-1. Kirby looks in and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Anthony Santander. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Santander steps back in. Kirby's 1-2 pitch to Anthony Santander. Yeah, up and in. 2-2. Two. Swing and a miss. He got him. Kirby, 2 strikeouts in the inning. We go to the bottom of the first, game 3 in Seattle. Blue Jays nothing. Mariners coming to bat. So it will be, it's going to be Shane Bieber getting the start on the mound for the Blue Jays here in game 3. And here is the Mariners lineup. He will be facing Randy Arozarena in left field, will lead off. The 60 home run hitter Cal Raleigh, Mariner catcher, bats second. Rodriguez in center field bats third. Jorge Polanco, the cleanup hitter and playing second base. Naylor at first base will bat fifth. Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman, hitting in the sixth spot. Canzone, the DH, he will bat seventh. Victor Robles in right field will bat eighth, and J.P. Crawford, the shortstop, in the number 9 spot. Arozarena, Raleigh, Rodriguez, Polanco, Naylor, Suarez, Canzone, Robles, and Crawford, the batting order for the Seattle Mariners. Against Shane Bieber. Bieber making his second start of the postseason. He's only pitched 2 2/3 innings in his first start. Gave up 2 runs, 5 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 2. As he will attempt to shut down this Mariners offense, who broke for 10 runs in game 2 on Monday. And Randy Arozarena will be the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the first for the Mariners. Arozarena in the postseason struggling a little bit, hitting just 161, 5 for 31. As Arozarena will step into the box. Little bit different batting order for the Mariners tonight. The regular season, Bieber started 7 games, had a 4-2 record. ERA just over 3.5. And Arozarena steps in here in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch from Bieber, outside, ball 1. Blue Jays tonight going in their little baby blue uniforms. Baby blue pants, baby blue tops. 1-0 is down low. It's 2-0. Mariners going with the all white, white tops, white pants. (2-0) from Bieber. There's a strike to Arozarena. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bieber's 2-1. That's upstairs. It's 3-1. Bieber's 3-1 pitch is inside. Arozarena draws a leadoff walk here at the bottom of the first for Mr. Raleigh. Cal Raleigh in the postseason hitting .357, 10 out of 28. He's got a couple home runs. Bieber's pitch to Cal Raleigh. Strike 1. Shane Bieber this year coming back from Tommy John surgery a season ago. That's why he wasn't in the pitching rotation a whole lot this year and got traded to Toronto from Cleveland back in July, right before the trade deadline. Raleigh rips this one to right, but foul, and it's 0-2. Everybody standing in Seattle for this Cal Raleigh at bat. I say everybody, about 95% of the fans anyway. Bieber's 0-2 pitch to Cal Raleigh. Down in the dirt. Nice stop back there. It's 1-2. Kirk with a good stop from keeping that ball from going to the backstop. "60 home runs, 125 runs batted in on the season for Raleigh." Here's the 1-2 pitch. Downstairs and in, 2-2. Bieber's 2-2 pitch to Cal Raleigh. Raleigh hits it in the air to left. Will it stay in play? It will, in foul territory. And the catch made for the first out by Lucas. So Raleigh fouls out, and it will bring up now Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the postseason hitting .207. Couple home runs, and he's drove in 6. Throw over to first. Rosarena slides back in safely. Bieber's pitch to Julio Rodriguez. Strike one. Rosarena takes off, and he swipes second easily. So Rosarena gets himself into scoring position with his 4th steal of the playoffs. He had 31 of them in the regular season. So Rosarena now at second with 1 out. And the 0-1 pitch is inside to Rodriguez. That'll even the count of ball and a strike. One pitch on the way. That's line deep left field. Back to the wall. 2-0 Seattle. Julio Rodriguez sends it out to left center field. And it's 2-0 Mariners in the first. Home run number 3 of the playoffs for Rodriguez. RBI 7 and 8. And another quick start for the Mariners here in Game 3. Home run number 11 in the postseason for the Seattle Mariners. And this pitch is hit well into right center field. That's going to get down and bounce over the fence for a rule book double for Jorge Polanco. And that will bring up Naylor. Naylor this postseason hitting .290. Wow, wow, wow. First pitch swinging by Naylor is fouled off for strike one. Strike one pitch down low. That'll even the count 1-1 on Naylor. One pitch on the way to Naylor. That's hit foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes now, the count. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Bieber to Naylor. In the dirt, 2-2. Well, this crowd was electric before the game started. They are super electric now. Following that Rodriguez home run. Swing and a miss, and there goes the bat from Naylor, and he strikes out for the second out. It'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. Hitting 4 for 29, a 138 average in the postseason. Comes up with a runner at second and 2 outs. Ball one. One 0 pitch. Hit foul. That'll even the count 1-1. One pitch, swing and a miss. Count on Suarez now 1-2. One-two pitch. Popped up. And the shortstop Jimenez has it for the third out. But the Julio Rodriguez 2-run home run gets the scoring started tonight as he sent it out 414 feet. And it's 2-0 Seattle after 1 in Game 3. So another quick start for the Mariners in this one, as they look to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Game 4 in this series is tomorrow. First pitch scheduled for just after 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 up there in the Pacific Northwest. Brewers-Dodgers Game 3 gets the doubleheader started tomorrow night. First pitch for that game just after 6 o'clock Eastern. 3 o'clock out there in Southern California. Dodgers up 2-0 in that series, going back home. Game 4 pitching matchup tomorrow. The Blue Jays are going to send Max Scherzer out for the start tomorrow night, and Luis Castillo will get the Game 4 start for the Mariners tomorrow. Question is, will the Mariners be going for their first ever World Series berth tomorrow night? Or will the Blue Jays be playing for a series tie tomorrow? They have to come from behind already in this one as they trail 2-0, and it's going to be Alejandro Kirk leading it off in the Toronto second. Kirk hitting 200 in the postseason, 5 out of 25. So Kirby goes back to the mound, now with a lead. First pitch, top 2, is outside, ball 1. Toronto needing to find some offense as they've been held to 4 runs in the first 2 games of this series. It's 2-0. Two-0 is a strike. 2-1. Two-one is line caught at first base. That looked like it was headed right to right field, but a leaping grab at first base by Naylor for the first out. And it will bring up Dalton Varsho. Varsho hitting .304 in the postseason, a couple home runs. Varsho fouls off the 0-1. It's now 0-2. The count on Dalton Varsho. .02 is in the air, popped up, foul territory, and Naylor is there for out number 2. So with 2 out, nobody on, it's going to bring up Addison Barger, number 7 hitter for the Blue Jays. Hitting .222 in the playoffs. Bases empty, 2 outs. And the pitch high for ball 1. One 0 pitch is inside. It's 2-0. Two 0 pitch in the air, center field. Rodriguez there. Blue Jays retired in order in the second. On to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Seattle in game 3. So a live update on my live stream schedule on both my YouTube and Kick pages. Will be on tomorrow. I want to do both games, but there's no way I'm going to be able to because the time on them, there's no way the first game's going to be over before the second game starts unless they have unless both pitchers throw under 100 pitches and it goes incredibly fast, but I don't foresee that happening. So I'm probably going to be on tomorrow night for the Blue Jays Mariners game 4 is how it's looking right now. If I can, I'll go on for the early game. But again, I just don't think it's going to be over before this game starts. So at the moment, it's just going to be game 4 of the Blue Jays Mariners series tomorrow. Could be a closeout game, and it could be a game where we see the Mariners advance to the World Series, depending on what happens with the rest of this one. And then Thursday, we'll be on the live stream for game 4 of the Brewers-Dodgers. And then we'll be back on the live stream on Saturday with something. If there's no baseball on Saturday, I will have 2 college football games on Saturday. If there is a baseball game on Saturday, it would be game 5 of the Brewers-Dodgers if there is one. If there is a baseball game, I will have that Saturday evening and 1 college football game in the afternoon. So we'll see, depending on what happens in that series, what I will be doing on the live stream on Saturday. But here we go, the bottom of the second. It's going to be Canzone leading it off for Seattle. Canzone just 1 for 12 in the postseason. First pitch to Canzone, bottom 2 is a strike. Oh, 1 pitch is a strike at the knees. It's 0-2. Oh, 2 is a swing and a miss. Batter will be Victor Robles. Robles in the postseason hitting 136, 3 for 22. So he's been in a little bit of a postseason funk. Strike 1. 0-1 pitch is in there for strike two. It's 0-2. Oh, 2. Robles, I think, went around. Yes, he did. Strike three. So back-to-back strikeouts for Bieber here in the bottom of the second, and it'll bring up J.P. Crawford. Crawford hitting .231 in the playoffs. Ball one. Swing and a miss on the 1-1 pitch counts, or on the 1-0 pitch to make it 1-1. Bieber's 1-1 pitch to J.P. Crawford inside, 2-1 now. Bieber looks in and delivers the 2-1 pitch to J.P. Crawford upstairs, now 3-1. (3-1), that's a strike, and the count goes full 3-2 with 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Bieber strikes out the side in the second. We head to the third in game 3. Mariners lead at 2-0. So a nice bounce back inning for Bieber after giving up the 2-run homer to Rodriguez in the first. Bounces back nicely by striking out the side in the second inning. Gets 4 strikeouts for Bieber. How long of a leash will Bieber have is the question. Still recovering from Tommy John surgery last year's. It'll be Clement, Jimenez, and then the top of the order, Springer, here in the Blue Jays' third. On I was going to say Wednesday evening. It's late Wednesday afternoon still out there in Seattle, heading into early evening. On a beautiful 60-degree late afternoon day in Seattle, Washington. Roof is open at T-Mobile Park. Get a nice view of downtown Seattle. Clement will lead off the third for the Blue Jays. He is having a great postseason, hitting .476, 10 out of 21. One of 2 Blue Jay hitters hitting over .400 in the postseason. Lucas is the other. But needing to find some offense in this series, though. So here we go, top of the third inning. Clement looking to keep his hot postseason going here. And lines it into left field. That is fair down the left field line. Extra bases for Clement. And he will have a stand-up double to lead off the third inning. Clement now up to a .500 average in the postseason with this hit. And this could start a Blue Jays rally here in the third, as it will bring up Jimenez. Jimenez in the postseason, on the other hand, hitting just .190. 4 out of 21. Jimenez fouls it off first base side, strike one. A packed house at T-Mobile Park. As was, of course, expected. 0-1 pitch. That is hit in the air. Deep right field. Back to the wall. And goodbye! Jimenez sends it out. And on one swing of the bat, this game is tied at 2 in the third. Jimenez, first home run of the postseason, RBIs 3 and 4, and on one swing of the bat, the Jays have tied it. Maybe that will be the hit that kickstarts this offense for the Jays. An offense that we saw just do numbers on the Yankees pitching in the division series, but has been quieted in the first 2 games by the Mariners. May have just woken up a sleeping giant. 1-0 is a swing and a miss, 1-1. That 1-1 is fouls. Now 1-2 on George Springer. One-two pitch on the way is in the air to right. And along the foul line, crashing into the stands, the catch is made in right field by Victor Robles. What a heck of a play out there in right field by Robles. That ball looked for sure that it was headed out of play. So here's Lucas. Struck out his first time up in the first against Kirby. 1-0 is foul. Counts even, 1-1. That strikeout in the first did dip Lucas's average, postseason average, under 400 now. But may have just got it back as he lines it into right center for a base hit. And Lucas at first with a single. And it will bring up Mr. Guerrero. Guerrero singled his first time up and then took second on a throwing error. With that, and with that, it gets a visit to the mound from Cal Raleigh. So meeting on the mound is over. And Guerrero steps in the box. Outside, ball one. One 0 pitch to Guerrero. Right down the middle, strike one, a ball and a strike. One. Guerrero lines it into left field, and that's going to be off the wall. Rounding second and heading to third. And a double for Guerrero. And it's runners at second and third. That was Lucas, by the way, heading to third. And the batter is Anthony Santander. Two in scoring position with one out. The pitch to Santander, swing and a miss, strike one. So it took 21 innings in this game, but it appears the Jays offense may have finally awakened. 0-1 pitch down low, a ball and a strike. One pitch. Outside and low, it's 2-1. Alejandro Kirk on deck. Kirby looks in on Santander and delivers a 2-1. Hit foul. That will even the count 2-2. Two pitch from Kirby to Santander. As the crowd rises in Seattle, down low, that'll fill the count. Well, the last thing you want to do right here if you're Kirby is walk him to load the bases with Kirk coming up. And here's the 3-2 payoff pitch. On the ground to first, that's going to be a put out right there, and the runners have to hold. That ball was bounced right to Naylor at first base, and he looked the runner Lucas back to third before stepping on the bag for the second out. And now it'll be up to Alejandro Kirk to give the Jays the lead. Two on with two outs. Pitch to Kirk, ball one. One 0 pitch. Outside, it's 2-0. Two 0 pitch, that's low. It's 3-0. Varsho on deck. Here's the 3-0. Let's see if Kirk has the green light. I doubt it. He does not, and it's right down the middle, 3-1. Comes the 3-1 pitch. Low ball 4. They are loaded for Varsho. And this will get a visit from the pitching coach, Pete Woodworth. So bases loaded with 2 outs. So here we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And Varsho the batter. The pitch to him down low. Nice stop by Raleigh. That also almost hit Varsho to force in the go-ahead run. Kirby's about to throw his 50th pitch, and he's not out of the 3rd inning yet. And the pitch. That'll get away from Raleigh to the backstop, and the go-ahead run scores as Lucas comes across. 3rd run of the inning for the Jays. Dan Wilson's, the Mariners manager, saying that he thinks that's a foul ball, and he's looking at the monitor, see if he wants to challenge this. And no. Varsho swung, but he didn't make any contact with the ball. And it is a play on, says Stan Wilson. 1-1 pitch. Lined into right field, back, and it is off the wall. This is going to score 2 more. Varsho, a 2-run double, and the Blue Jays have plated 5 in the 3rd and lead it 5-2. And Barger's going to be the batter as the Blue Jays have batted around here in the 3rd inning. That pitch on the ground to second, and the throw to first to finally bring an end to the top of the 3rd. But a big crooked number for the Blue Jays as they plate 5 in the inning. They put up more runs in the 3rd inning than they had scored in the first 2 games combined. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, 5-2 Toronto. So it will be in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is going to be the top of the order: Arozarena, Raleigh, and Rodriguez. As Toronto, or as Seattle rather, is now in a 3-run hole. So Bieber, going back to the mound, now gets to work with a 3-run lead. So the Blue Jays with a big crooked number in the third inning. 2-run home run by Jimenez started the scoring. And then a wild pitch scored the third run, and then the 2-run double by Varsho for the fourth and fifth runs of the inning. So here we go with Arozarena to lead it off in the bottom of the third for Seattle. Walked and scored on the Rodriguez 2-run homer in the first. As Shane Bieber making his second start of the postseason, only made it 2 2/3 in Game 3 of the division series against the Yankees. The only game in that series the Blue Jays lost. First pitch, bottom 3 to Randy Arozarena. Strike 1 at the knees. Swing and a miss by Arozarena. That was strike 3. I missed the second strike in there somewhere, but none. That's 5 strikeouts for Bieber. And it will bring up Cal Raleigh with the bases empty and 1 out. Pitch to Raleigh, swing and a miss. Strike 1. A foul out his first time. And this is popped up on the infield, and that is out number 2 here in the bottom of the third as Clement makes the catch. So with 2 out, nobody on, it'll bring up Rodriguez, who hit the 2-run homer in the first. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch, a little outside, 1-1. 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2. One-two pitch, down low, 2-2. Two-two pitch is a bouncer to third. This is going to be a tough play and no play. Infield single for Rodriguez. And strike one here to Polanco. Polanco doubled on the very next pitch after the Rodriguez 2-run homer. 0-1 pitch is in the air, right center. And that is that in the bottom of the third. A third of the way into game three. We head to the fourth. Blue Jays lead 5-2. So the Blue Jays will have Clement, Jimenez, and the top of the order Springer in the third. Mariners batted around in the third inning and picking up the 5 runs. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Toronto. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Seattle. Both teams have stranded 2 base runners so far. So Kirby, the Mariners pitcher, got roughed up a little bit there in the third inning. As he's at 52 pitches through 3 innings. And again, game 4 of this series tomorrow night. First pitch just after 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time out there in the Pacific Northwest. Again, pitching matchup for game 4. Max Scherzer will get the start for the Blue Jays in game 4 tomorrow. Luis Castillo will get the game 4 start for the Mariners. Have a couple of other sports headlines outside of the game of baseball coming up at the next half inning. Couple big stories out of the NBA gonna mention at the next half inning. So here we go. Top of the 4th inning, Clement will lead off. Doubled to lead off the third. One 0 pitch is downstairs. Clement ahead of the count 2-0. Two 0 pitch right there for a strike, 2-1. Two 1 pitch, that's downstairs, and Clement's ahead now 3-1. Have not seen any action in the Mariners bullpen. Strike 2, and the count goes full. That may be changing here shortly as Kirby's nearing the 60 pitch mark, and he's just now into the top of the 4th. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Clement caught looking for the first out. Strikeout number 3 for Kirby. and it will bring up Jimenez, who started that big third inning for Toronto with a 2-run homer. That at the time tied it before the Blue Jays plated 3 after that. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Top of the order, George Springer is on deck. 0-2 pitch is foul. Oh, 2 is foul, and the count remains 0-2. Oh, 2 swing and a miss. Jimenez strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kirby here in the top of the 4th, and it will bring up the top of the order, George Springer. Springer sends this one into center field and deep back track and gone. Springer sends it out to straightaway center. And it is 6-2 Toronto. Springer goes deep for the 3rd time in this postseason. That was to straightaway center field, 431 feet. Here's Lucas. Taking inside, ball 1. "1-0, there's a strike. 1-1. One swing and a miss. 1-2 now on Lucas. Lucas singled and scored last inning. And the 1-2 pitch. Bouncer back to Kirby. And the throw to first in time to retire Lucas and retire the Blue Jays in the 4th. But they add another insurance run on the Springer home run. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it is now Blue Jays 6-2. It's going to be Naylor, Suarez, and Canzone, 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Blue Jays. Coming up in the bottom of the 4th. Well, as mentioned, some other sports news as we steer clear from Major League Baseball momentarily on this half-inning break about a couple key stories from the NBA that broke today. Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings, rookie year back in 2022, he agreed to a 5-year, $140 million extension. So he is going to be with the Kings for the foreseeable future. And a bit of a shocking story, Malcolm Brogdon, right before, less than a week before the season starts, Malcolm Brogdon of the Knicks announced that he is going to hang it up after 9 seasons. He was with the Washington Wizards last year. only played in about a third of their games, and Malcolm Brogdon hanging it up after 9 seasons. So that's a couple of stories from the NBA as we have reached the preseason in the NBA right now. Regular season gets underway next week. Couple college football games taking place tonight as well out of Conference USA. And of course, week 7 of the NFL begins tomorrow with the Thursday night matchup Steelers and Bengals, AFC North battle tomorrow night, Thursday night football. But back to this one now. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Mariners now in a 4-run hole, 6-2. And it's going to be Naylor leading it off in the bottom of the 4th for Seattle. Naylor, a strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch, bottom 4, a foul ball, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch, up and in. Ball and a strike on Naylor. One pitch on the ground on one hop to second. One down here in the bottom of the 4th. And it will bring up Eugenio Suarez. Ball 1 outside. Suarez popped out his first time. Swing and a miss. It's a 1-1. One pitch is hit foul, and that will get out of play. It's 1-2. Suarez steps back in and awaits the 1-2 pitch from Bieber. Down low, 2-2. Two pitch. On the ground to third on one hop. 2 out. And it will bring up Canzone. Struck out his first time up back in the 2nd. As we start to hit sunset over Seattle. Ball 1. One-zero pitch hit foul. Counts now 1-1. 1-1 is hit foul, and that will make the count 1-2. So Bieber's made it an inning farther right now than he did in his previous start in the postseason this year. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Down low. Counts even 2-2. And there he is, second or third row behind, just to the right of home plate, the guy that's become a postseason fixture over the years in Major League Baseball, known as Marlins Man. 2-2 is hit foul. Two-two pitch. In the air, left field. Curving foul and unable to make the play, and then crashing into the netting out there along the third base side. That was Lucas. Nice effort there by Lucas. When he just went crashing into the net, he just knocked a hat right off a fan's head. Down the third base side. 2-2 pitch. Line foul this time, first base side. Swing and a miss on the 2-2 pitch. Half dozen strikeouts for Bieber. Mariners done in the fourth. We will see Guerrero leading it off in the fifth for the Blue Jays, followed by Santander and Kirk. And the Blue Jays lead at 6-2 going to the fifth. So I've been here looking. As I mentioned, I'm going to have a college football, at least one college football game on my live stream on Saturday. I've been looking at the schedule as to what game exactly that's going to be. It is still not 100% set in stone, but I am actually seriously considering on my live stream on Saturday that LSU Vanderbilt game at noon Eastern. That's probably going to be my college football live stream on Saturday, and then depending on if we have a Brewers-Dodgers game 5, I will have another college football game that evening, if no baseball. I'll have an official announcement probably on, well, tomorrow night, because I will not be on Friday, but I have a prior commitment on Friday. But so on we go here to the fifth. Guerrero will lead it off. He is 2 for 2, a single and a double. Blue Jays with a #1 seed in the American League, 94-68 record. Mariners 90-72. Again, both LCS games take off tomorrow. Guerrero sends it in the air to center, and Guerrero sends it out. I wasn't sure if that was caught out there in center field or not. It was not. Guerrero sends a home run. His 4th of the postseason. The Jays' 3rd tonight. It is 7-2 Toronto. That just had enough to clear the center field fence. I thought for a minute Rodriguez had brought it back, but just unable to get his glove on it, just out of his reach in center field. And Guerrero gives a little shush signal to the fans as he was running the bases. So a lot of sports talk shows on TV and radio both over these last 2 days. What's happened to the Toronto offense? What's happened to the Toronto offense? Well, I think just needless to say, they've definitely gotten out of their funk tonight. 2-0 is a strike. Counts now 2-1. Two one is outside, now 3-1. Santander has struck out and grounded out. 0 for 2. Three-one pitch. That is ball 4, and Santander draws a walk. And that will bring up Alejandro Kirk. That is the 2nd home run tonight by Toronto that has been hit to straightaway center field. And Kirby had a good first 2 innings tonight for the Mariners, and he has just thrown his last pitch as the Blue Jays have gotten to him in the last 3. Kirby exits with Toronto leading 7-2. So Kirby will go 4+ tonight. 8 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 4, 74 pitches. Not his night tonight. And the Mariners go to the bullpen and Carlos Vargas. Vargas appearing for the 4th time in the postseason. He's 0-1. He's pitched 4 innings. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs. Walked 3 and struck out 3. So Toronto, a 5-run 3rd inning, a big crooked number in the 3rd. They followed it up with a solo home run in the 4th and 5th inning both to add to that lead. And now lead at 7-2. Vargas coming in to face Alejandro Kirk. Kirk tonight is 0 for 1. He has reached on a walk and scored. So it may be a long bullpen evening for the Mariners. Vargas's first pitch to Alejandro Kirk is ball 1. One-zero pitch. On the ground, up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. And it's first and second with nobody out for the Blue Jays. And the hits keep coming tonight for Toronto. As Varsho the batter, that's now 9 hits for the Blue Jays. We're only in the 5th inning. Varsho hit a 2-run double for the final runs of that 5-run 3rd inning. Varsho swings and misses for strike 1. And Varsho calls time before the 0-1. Crowd was electric when this game started. Got even more electric on the Rodriguez 2-run homer in the first. But they have gone very quiet since the 3rd inning. 1-1. Except for the Toronto fans, of course, which there are a few of. 1-1 pitch, a strike. 1-2. One-two pitch from Vargas to Varsho. Hit foul. Count stays 1-2. One-two pitch. That's in the air to right, not very deep. In fact, the second baseman is back there, and Polanco makes the catch for the first out at the top of the 5th. And the batter will be Addison Barger. Barger 0 for 2 tonight. That's down low, ball 1. One-zero pitch in the air to left. Arozarena over to make the catch for out number 2. The runner at second, which is Santander, is Kirby's responsibility as Clement steps up with 2 on and 2 out. That's lined into right. That's going to be a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Santander. The throw to third. He is out, but I think the run's going to count. And it will. Santander crossed the plate before Kirk was thrown out at third for the 3rd out. The Blue Jays add 2 more in the inning. We're halfway through game 3, 8-2 Toronto. Be Robles, Crawford, and the top of the order, Arozarena. So the Mariners with some serious catching up to do here in game 3. They trail 8-2. So here we go. It'll be Robles leading it off in the bottom of the 5th. So the line is closed for Kirby. 4+ innings, 8 hits, 8 runs given up. All of them earned. He walked 2. He struck out 4. So Bieber, if he can get through this inning, he could pick up the win here tonight. Do have a defensive switch for Toronto. Miles Straw coming in to play left field, replacing Santander. One 0 pitch to Robles is a strike. Count is even 1-1. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Robles, 1-2. One-two pitch, that's lined into and caught. One out. Brings up J.P. Crawford. He was a strikeout victim his first time. Pitch to J.P. Crawford is hit foul, strike 1. That pitch lined through into center field for a base hit. J.P. Crawford with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 5th. Could that start a Mariners rally? We go back to the top of the order and Randy Arozarena. 0 for 1. He has reached on a walk and scored. And he struck out his other at bat. Rosarena takes high, ball one. One 0 pitch is outside. It's 2-0 on Randy Rosarena. Here's the 2-0. Strike. Counts now 2-1. Two-one pitch. Ball three. Counts now 3-1. Three-one pitch. Bounce to third. Throw to second. One on to first. That's late. Rosarena will beat that. It's very hard to double him up. 2 outs. Fielder's choice, 5-4 on the putout. And it will bring up Cal Raleigh with a runner at first and 2 outs. Raleigh 0 for 2 tonight. A foul out and a pop out. The pitch to Raleigh is outside, ball one. One 0 pitch. Popped up. Foul territory. Kirk and Guerrero watch for it, but it ends up in the first row. So the count's now 1-1 on Raleigh. Shane Bieber at 76 pitches. One pitch. Outside, 2-1. Mason Flaherty starting to loosen in the Toronto bullpen. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Cal Raleigh. Bouncer foul. That'll even the count 2-2. I think Guerrero was trying his best to field that ball before it went into foul territory, but was unable to do so. So Raleigh steps back in with the count at 2-2 with 2 out. Rosarena the lead at first, and the 2-2 pitch to Cal Raleigh. Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 strikeouts for Bieber. He goes 5. He now stands to get the win. On to the 6th in Game 3 in Seattle. All Jays tonight, 8-2. It'll be Jimenez and then the top of the order, Springer and Lucas. In the 6th for Toronto. Mariners got the scoring started tonight back in the first inning on a Julio Rodriguez 2-run homer. That made it 2-0, but then the floodgates opened in the third for the Blue Jays. Two-run homer by Jimenez tied it at 2. And then a wild pitch scored a run that made it 3-2 Toronto. Then a 2-run double by Dalton Varsho scored the 4th and 5th runs of the 3rd. That made it 5-2 Toronto. Solo home run by George Springer in the 4th made it 6-2. And then a solo home run in the 5th for Guerrero made it 7-2. And then Clement's RBI has made it 8-2, which is where we stand right now going into the 6th inning. As the Blue Jays, in what's realistically a must-win Game 3 for them. And they're taking that to heart, leading it 8-2. So Bieber, the starting pitcher for Toronto, has went 5. He's given up 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's at 79 pitches through 5 innings. Starter Kirby for the Mariners only made it 4+ in this one. And Vargas came in relief, pitched the 5th, and he's back out there to pitch at least start the 6th inning. So here's Jimenez to lead it off. 1 for 2, hit the 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. As dusk has settled over T-Mobile Park in Seattle. First pitch, top 6, fouled away, strike 1. Jimenez steps in and looks at the 0-1 pitch from Vargas. Threw into left field for a base hit. That went right under the glove of Suarez at third base. And Jimenez has his 2nd hit of the night. And it will bring us back to the top of the order, George Springer. Springer 1 for 3. Solo home run back in the 4th. Nope, I'm sorry. So we play on here with Springer coming up. Strike 1. Not that regular season series mean anything anymore once we get into the postseason, but Toronto did sweep the 3 games in Seattle this year. So they've been liking this ballpark this year. That's a little nubber into right. That's going to fall down the right field line in fair territory. Jimenez goes to 3rd. It's 1st and 3rd, no one out, and the Blue Jays threatening to put even more on the board. With Lucas coming up to bat. Lucas started this game in left field. He moved to right field when Miles Straw came in defensively. So Vargas has pitched his last pitch of the night as he departs with runners at 1st and 3rd, no one out in the 6th. And Vargas will give way to Caleb Ferguson, who's in for the third time in the postseason. He's only pitched 2/3 of an inning total his previous 2 appearances. Gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, walked 2. So as of right now in the postseason, with those numbers, Ferguson's ERA in the postseason is 40.5. And he comes into quite the pickle of a situation with runners at first and third, nobody out. So Vargas goes 1+, up 4 hits, no runs yet, but the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. And Lucas will be the first batter Ferguson faces. So it'll be Ferguson against Lucas. First pitch, a little nubber. Lucas is going to be tagged out, but a run's going to score as Jimenez comes across on an RBI ground out. 9-2 Toronto. Springer moves to second. And here comes Guerrero. Guerrero 3 for 3 on the night. And they are actually intentionally walking Guerrero here. That will set up a force play. And the batter will be Myles Straw as he gets his first at bat. Straw 2 for 6 in postseason play. Pitch to him from Ferguson's down low, 1-0. One-zero pitch down low. It's 2-0. Two-zero is a strike. Two-one pitch in the air, and that will reach the seats. 2-2. Two-two pitch is hit foul. Count will stay 2-2. Alejandro Kirk is on deck. 2-2 is a swing and a miss. Straw strikes out for out number 2. And here comes Kirk. First and second, 2 outs for Toronto. Pitch to Kirk, ball 1. Kirk has singled, scored a run, and he's also walked. 1 for 2 officially. 1-0 is a strike down the middle. That'll even the count 1-1. One pitch is in the air to right. That's hit pretty well back, and it's going to get out of here. Alejandro Kirk sends it out to right, and the Blue Jays have hung a dozen on the board. It is 12-2 Toronto. Home run number 3 in the postseason for Alejandro Kirk. Wow. This is the Toronto offense that we've nice catch out there by the fan on the home run ball, by the way. Oh. That's why you bring your glove to the ballpark. But this is the Toronto offense we've gotten accustomed to seeing, as they have broke out tonight. That's lined into center field. That's going to be a base hit for Varsho. And the hits keep coming. 14 hits on the night now for the Blue Jays. Varsho's 2 for 4, and it'll bring up Addison Barger. Fourth home run tonight for the Blue Jays. Pitch to Barger is outside and low, ball 1. One 0 is a swing and a miss. Counts now 1-1. One pitch, right down the middle, strike 2. 1-2. So Vargas, in his 1+ innings, ended up giving up 2 runs. 2 of those runs that scored this inning were his responsibility. 1-2 pitch to Barger is on the ground to first. The throw over to second. I don't know why you go to second there, but the out is recorded for the third out. But 4 more for Toronto. And Alejandro Kirk, 3-run homer. The big blow. It is all Blue Jays in game 3, 12-2 going to the bottom of the 6th. So for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th, it's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Rodriguez, Polanco, and Naylor. in a 10-run hole, 12-2. So the Blue Jays, after scoring just 4 runs total the first 2 games of this series, have broke it out for 12 tonight in 6 innings. Rodriguez will lead it off. He hit the 2-run home run back in the first, the only scoring of this game for the Mariners. They've only been able to salvage 3 hits since then. As Bieber did a good job shutting down this Mariners offense after that first inning Rodriguez homer. And Bieber is going to work into the 6th. So Bieber against Rodriguez. First pitch here, bottom of the 6th. Will be momentarily. Beautiful Seattle Wednesday evening. They're right off Puget Sound. Strike 1. Rodriguez has also singled in addition to his home run. Swings and misses at the 0-1. He's now in an 0-2 hole. Oh-2 pitch. Outside and low. A ball and 2 strikes now the count on Rodriguez. Rodriguez will be followed by Polanco and Naylor. 1-2 pitch is outside. Evens the count 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Inside and almost hit him. And the count runs full, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Got him. Rodriguez strikes out. That's number 8 tonight for Shane Bieber. And it'll bring up Jorge Polanco. Polanco's 1 for 2 with a double in the game. Pitch to Polanco is a swing and a miss. 0-1. Braden Fisher loosening in the Blue Jays bullpen. Strike 1 pitch is on the ground, backhanded, and the throw to first in time. A great backhanded grab there by Jimenez, and threw to first in time to get the out. Well done. 2 outs. And the batter will be Naylor with the bases empty and 2 outs. Naylor 0 for 2 tonight so far. Close play there at first, but they got Polanco by half a step. The 8 strikeouts tonight for Shane Bieber ties a postseason career high for him. That's hit to first. Guerrero, a backhanded play, and the throw over to Bieber, and Bieber goes 6 innings. In his second postseason start of the season. On to the 7th, Game 3 in Seattle. All Jays 12-2. It's going to be Clement Jimenez and the top of the order Springer in the 7th for Toronto. And the Blue Jays definitely look well on their way to getting back in this series. A pivotal Game 4 coming up tomorrow night. Again, the pitching matchup tomorrow night. Max Scherzer will take the mound for Toronto in that Game 4 start tomorrow night. Luis Castillo on the other side gets the start for the Mariners tomorrow night, which appears that it's going to be a 2-1 lead now for Seattle, unless the Mariners have some kind of monumental comeback with their last 9 outs. But what a great job by Bieber. He gave up the 2-run homer in the first, but Seattle has not done much at all since then. Just 3 hits and 1 walk since that first inning home run that Bieber has allowed. So into the 7th we go. It's going to be Clement leading off. Clement 2 for 3 on the night. He has drove in a run. First pitch, top of the 7th, swing and a miss, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch is down low. Check swing over to first, and say Clement went around. It's 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch down low, 1-2. One-two pitch is popped up foul and out of play. One-two downstairs, 2-2. 2-2 hit foul. Count stays 2-2. Two-two pitch, another foul ball. Here's another 2-2 pitch. That's lined into left field. That's going to be playable out there for Arozarena, and there's the first out. So here's Jimenez, who's had a heck of a night. 2 for 3, 2-run home run, as well as a single, and he's drove in 2, or he scored 2, I should say. One pitch is line base hit. Jimenez has his third hit of the night. And we're back to the top of the order in George Springer. He's 2 for 4. He's homered and singled and scored twice. Foul ball, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch is at the knees. It's 0-2. Pitch is foul. Pitch down low. And it gets away from Raleigh, and Jimenez will take second base. So Jimenez gets himself into scoring position with 1 out. And the 1-2 pitch to George Springer. Swing and a miss. Springer goes down on strikes, and it will bring up Lucas with the runner at second and 2 outs. Lucas is 1 for 4. Pitch to Lucas on the ground to second. Over to first in time. Blue Jays down in the 7th. They strand Jimenez at second. Stretch time in Seattle. All Blue Jays tonight, 12-2. This is the first inning since the second inning that the Blue Jays have not scored in. They had scored at least a run in each of their previous 4 innings. It looks like Shane Bieber has hit the end of his night, and he has after 6 innings. Great performance tonight for Bieber. Gave up the one bad ball to Rodriguez in the first that Rodriguez sent over the fence, but other than that, a great outing for Bieber and a kind of outing from a starting pitcher the Blue Jays had to have tonight. He gives way to Braden Fisher, who's making his 5th appearance in the postseason. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings. He's given up 6 hits, 3 runs. He's walked 1, struck out 6. So the final line tonight on Shane Bieber, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. He threw 88 pitches. So John Schneider has to be pleased that he got 6 innings out of his starter tonight. And give the bullpen a little bit of a breather. As in this series, it's been a pretty heavy bullpen. They used 6 pitchers, did the Blue Jays, in game 1. And used 7 pitchers in game 2. So to get 6 innings out of the starter tonight, that could go a long way as this series goes on. To give the bullpen a little bit of a rest. So into the bottom of the 7th, Eugenio Suarez will lead it off. He'll be followed by Canzone and Robles. Suarez 0 for 2 on the night. First pitch, bottom 7, ball 1. One-0 pitch, swing and a miss by Suarez. Counts even 1-1. Pop out and a ground out tonight for Suarez. It's the 1-1 from Fisher. That's lined into left. That's going to be a base hit. Suarez with his first hit of the night, and the Mariners have their leadoff man on in the bottom of the 7th. For Canzone, 0 for 2. He has struck out both times tonight. Pitch to Canzone's low, ball 1. Canzone with his 0 for 2 tonight is now just 1 for 14 in the playoffs. 1-0 pitch, that misses. It's 2-0. Two-0 pitch. Canzone fouls it back. Counts now 2-1. Two-one pitch on the way to Canzone. Line foul. 2-2. 2-2 pitch to Canzone. On the ground to second. Over to second. One on to first. Double play. 4-6-3. Twin killing. Now 2 outs for Victor Robles. Robles 0 for 2. Swings and misses. Strike 1. Strikeout and a line out tonight for Robles. 0-1 is a little low. 1-1. One pitch. Down low. 2-1. To Robles is popped up. The shortstop Jimenez with the catch, and that will do it in the 7th for the Mariners. On we go to the 8th. 12-2 Toronto. Blue Jays will have Guerrero, Straw, and Kirk due up in the top of the 8th inning. It'll be against the 4th Mariners pitcher of the night. Luke Jackson will come in to pitch. Jackson making his 2nd postseason appearance. He's pitched 1 inning, so hasn't had a whole lot of work. So Ferguson goes 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts through 33 pitches. All 12 runs for the Blue Jays tonight have been earned. The good news for Ferguson, he came in with a postseason ERA this year of 40.5. He has lowered that to 16.88. He's not one of the real go-to pitchers. He'd only appeared a couple times and he had rough outings. That's why his ERA was what it was. But so here we go. Guerrero leading it off. He is a perfect 3 for 3 tonight. He is just a triple shy of the cycle. He's doubled, homered, and singled. He's also been intentionally walked. So Jackson ready, Guerrero ready. First pitch, top of the 8th. Is lined into right center field, and that's going to go to the wall. Is he going to try to stretch this to a triple? Here he goes. Nope, he's going to hold it second. I thought he was going to try to stretch it for a minute to try and hit for the cycle, but he will hold it second. And Vladimir Guerrero, a 4-for-4 night. Guerrero almost missed first base, too, as they just showed the replay on TV. And ball one. That's raised Guerrero's average in the postseason to 464. 1-0 is a swing and a miss, 1-1. In a 12-2 game in the 8th inning, Vladimir Guerrero must have been sure he wasn't going to make that, because with this kind of spread, I would think this would be the opportunity to try and chance it, but he must have known he wasn't going to make it. That's a ground ball to short. Guerrero will have to hold it second to throw to first in time for the out. Here's Alejandro Kirk. "16 hits tonight for the Blue Jays." Ball one. Kirk has singled, hit a 3-run home run, and he's also reached on a walk. Inside on the 1-0, it's 2-0. Two-0 pitch, right down the middle, strike one, 2-1. Varsho on deck. 2-1 low, 3-1. Three-one pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Hit foul, that'll fill the count, 3-2. Full count pitch to Kirk on the way from Jackson. And here it is. On the ground to third, again Guerrero will have to hold. Throw to first in time to retire Kirk for out number 2. So after the leadoff double, 2 straight groundouts, and Guerrero's been unable to advance. And it'll bring up Dalton Varsho. Varsho 2-for-4 tonight. That skips away from Raleigh. He can't find it. And Guerrero will head up to third base. Varsho swung and missed. And it carried away from Cal Raleigh, which allowed Guerrero to take third. Wild pitch on that. Yariel Rodriguez starting to loosen in the Blue Jays pin. 0-1's a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. 0-2 pitch to Dalton Varsho. Called strike 3 at the knees. Varsho knew it and started to walk back to the dugout. So Guerrero leadoff double, but the Blue Jays strand him at third. We go to the bottom of the 8th. In Game 3 in Seattle, Blue Jays 12-2 over the Mariners. Be J.P. Crawford, and then the top of the order, Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh due up here in the bottom of the 8th. For the Mariners. And again, update on my live stream schedule. I will be back on tomorrow night. More than likely, it's going to be for Game 4 of this series, Blue Jays and Mariners. Brewers-Dodgers starts 2.5 hours before the first pitch of this game. I would like to do both games tomorrow, but I just don't. I did it the other night, and I didn't like doing it. I don't like stopping before a game is over, but I had to the other night when Game 2 of this series ran long because I wanted to get into the Brewers-Dodgers. Luckily, the game got a little out of hand, so there was nothing really that was missed. But I don't like doing that, so I'm probably just going to stick with Game 4 of this series tomorrow. And it's looking like it's going to be an important Game 4 because it looks like it's going to be a 2-1 series lead for Seattle. So if this holds and it is 2-1, it's going to be a huge Game 4. Toronto, if they can win that one, will go back. It's going to be a best-of-3 series. It goes to the 2-3-2 format now, so there will be 3 games in Seattle before the series goes back to Toronto, if need be. I'm not a big fan of the 2-3-2 personally. I would rather see the 2-2-1-1-1. I know this way eliminates a little bit of travel. So bottom of the 8th here, Yariel Rodriguez coming in to pitch for Toronto. Coming in for the 4th time in the postseason. He's pitched an inning and 2/3. He's given up a run. This is a little concerning in the postseason. He's walked 4 and has not struck out any. So Fisher goes 1 inning in relief, gives up 1 hit, but that's it. Only threw 12 pitches in that 7th inning. Rodriguez will start off by facing J.P. Crawford. Crawford's 1 for 2 tonight and swings and misses for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. In the air to left. That could be trouble. Nope, it's going to stay up long enough. And the catch made out there in left field by Miles Straw for out number 1. Top of the order, Randy Arozarena. 0 for 2. He has reached on a walk and scored. He scored on the Rodriguez 2-run homer in the first. Strike 1. A 1 pitch is a strike on the inside corner. 0-2. This stadium has gotten extremely quiet since the top of the 3rd inning. It was electric before the game and really electric after that Ramirez home run in the first. But Toronto has scored the game's last 12 runs. Mariners, assuming this holds, Mariners are still going to have the series lead. One, two is outside, 2-2. Two pitch misses and the count is full. Payoff pitch. That's hit into left field back, and that's going to get out of here into the bullpen. Arozarena goes deep, and it is 12-3 in the eighth. Arozarena goes deep for the first time in the postseason. Arozarena sends it out 396 feet over the fence in left center. So that stops the streak of 12 unanswered runs by the Blue Jays in this game. Raleigh takes strike one. Oh, 1 pitch, low, 1-1. Raleigh sends one deep to right, and that is gonna go. Back to back go the Mariners in the eighth, and it's 12-4. That just got over the right field wall. And one fan out there is very, very happy catching a Cal Raleigh home run ball. It's 12-4. Boy, I tell you what, Lucas out there in right field almost caught that ball. Julio Rodriguez homered back in the first. Mason Flaherty, who was in the bullpen earlier, is back up again. Two-one pitch in the air to center. And this one's going to stay in the park. The catch is made for out number 2 out in center field. Varsho with the grab. Here's Rivas, who I failed to mention, came in defensively for Polanco in the top of this inning at second base. So he's going to get his first at bat and takes a strike. And Strike one pitch is foul, and Rivas is down in the count 0-2. This is just Rivas' fifth at bat in the postseason. He's 1 for 4 so far. O2 pitch, down low, 1-2. One-two pitch, 2-2. Two-two pitch at the knee, strike three, and that'll do it for the bottom of the eighth. On to the ninth we go. It's 12-4 Toronto, as the Mariners did get 2 on back-to-back home runs in the eighth inning by Arozarena and Raleigh. It'll be the bottom third of the Blue Jays order: Barger, Clement, and Jimenez in the ninth inning. So here we go into the ninth. Barger will lead it off. And Jackson back out to work here for the ninth inning. Ball one. And the 1-0 pitch is a strike. 1-1. 1-1. That is ripped. Deep right field, long gone. Barger sends it out to right field. And it's become a home run contest in this one. 13-4 Toronto. Barger goes deep for the first time in the postseason. Home run number 5 tonight for Toronto and number 8 in the game. This pitch is grounded to third. Barehanded pickup and the throw to first in time. 1 out in the ninth. And it'll bring up Jimenez. Jimenez 3 for 4 tonight. Jimenez sends it into left center. Catch will be made for out number 2. Springer sends this one into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. And George Springer gives Toronto their 18th hit of the night against Mariners pitching. This tells you the kind of offensive night it's been for Toronto. George Springer, they are going now through the lineup for the 6th time. As Lucas steps up, he's 1 for 5. Singled back in the third and scored a run. A 1 is a little nubber back to the pitcher. He will tag Lucas to end the inning. On we go to the bottom of the ninth. Blue Jays 3 outs away from getting back in this series. They had another home run, this one from Barger. 13-4 going to the bottom of the ninth. So into the bottom of the ninth. So here we go into the bottom of the ninth. Gonna have a pinch hitter here for Naylor. In the bottom of the ninth. There's a lot of defensive changes for Toronto as well. Pinch hitter here is Harry Ford. He's only had 6 at-bats the entire season and lines this one into center, and he's going to drop it in for a hit into center field. So Harry Ford with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the ninth. Defensive changes for Toronto. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa comes in the game at second base. Clement, who was playing second, moves to third. Addison Barger's out of the game. Mason Flaherty is the new pitcher, by the way, for Toronto as well. Pitch is high, ball 1. Flaherty's in for the 6th time in the postseason. He's pitched 3 innings. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 6. One pitch, a swing and a miss. One-two pitch from Flaherty to Suarez on the way. That's foul. Another foul ball from Suarez. One-two misses. It's now 2-2. Two-two, and there's another foul ball. Good battle here by Suarez. Two-two pitch upstairs. That'll fill the count, 3-2. Three-two pitch is foul. Well, 3-2 payoff, swing and a miss. Suarez strikes out for the first out of the ninth. Ball one here to a pinch hitter, Mitch Garver. One 0 pitch gets away from the catcher Kirk and up to second base. Will go forward. Two 0 is foul. And is it playable for Guerrero? It is for the second out. Robles has struck out, lined out, and popped out tonight. And he represents the final chance to keep this game alive for Seattle. Robles hits it to first. Guerrero steps on the bag, and the Blue Jays have gotten themselves back in this series with a decisive 13-4 victory in Game 3. And it cuts the Mariners' lead in the series to 2-1, with a very important Game 4 coming up tomorrow. 13 runs, 18 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. They left 7 runners on base, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Mariners. They left 4 on base. Bieber gets the win, and Kirby suffers the loss. So now a huge Game 4 tomorrow. Max Scherzer and Luis Castillo, the pitching matchup. Veteran against a good young pitcher. Blue Jays look to even things up and make it a best of 3, where the Mariners look to get one step away from their first World Series appearance. So the road team now 3 for 3 in this series. So the Blue Jays offense definitely came back to life in this game after struggling through the first 2. So 13-4 Toronto wins it. Again, the schedule for tomorrow, Game 3 of the NLCS, Brewers and Dodgers. That scene shifts to Los Angeles. First pitch of that game scheduled for just after 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock out there in Southern California and out on the West Coast. And then Game 4 of this series, Blue Jays and Mariners, tomorrow night just past 8:30 Eastern time, just after 5:30 up there in the Pacific Northwest and on the West Coast. And I will be on the live stream for that one. Going to wrap things up here tonight after this Toronto slugfest tonight, 13-4, as they pound out 18 hits and get back in the series to make it a 2-1 lead now for the Mariners. Again, my name is John. Follow me on YouTube, Sports Bonanza John. If you do like my content, would really appreciate a like and subscribe. That would really help out a lot. Also on Kick, Sports Kick John. You join me there as well. I will be back tomorrow night for more live stream action in Major League Baseball. Game 4 of this series, Blue Jays and Mariners. I will talk to you then. Have a great night, everybody. God bless. Talk to you tomorrow.